Ted, what do you remember about selecting your ring gear, getting boots, stuff like that? Like, how did you come to those kind of decisions?
Well, there used to be a place where you could order, and then I'm trying to think who. I can't think of the person's name now, but I got the name, and I would order. I got the first time I got fitted, and so they knew my size, and after that I would just call them and order them. And I can't remember who that was now, but a lot of the later boots, especially like when I became the $1 Million Man, and I got the big dollar sign on the side of my boot. But there used to be a place where you could order wrestling gear, and along with that wrestling gear, you could order boots. But I just can't remember ever having I don't know. That's kind of a, yeah. I do remember, getting the information for the person who tailor made them, who made them for you, made them to fit,
Hmm.
and so that's
Um,
where I got my boots from. Actually, I tell you who it was.
who's that?
Uh, I have a cousin. I have a cousin out in Arizona. His name is Ray, and raises cowboys. They come. I mean, he was a bull riding cowboy, and I tell you what, I'll wrestle anybody. I said, but you got to be out of your mind to climb on the back of a bull that's not happy about you being there, and you get bucked off, and here he comes.
Yeah.
You better get up and run anyway. No, but my cousin Ray he became he would make cowboy boots, and I said, so if you can make cowboy boots, could you make and I showed him my wrestling boots. He said, oh yeah, I can make them for you. So he sized me up, and anytime I needed a pair of boots, I called my cousin.
How about that? And
Yeah,
I'm sure he gave you a fair rate too.
yeah, oh yeah.
Is your cousin still around?
Yeah, he's still there.
All right, and you'll have to give me his contact info because I'm starting to shop around for
Well, I
boots.
don't know. I don't know if he'd be making boots anymore.
Yeah, it was worth a shot. Ted, there's a great early picture of you out there. I actually used it for the cover art for our last episode. It's you. You can tell you're a really young man, and you're out there wearing some black wrestling trunks. Now, there's no easy way to put it, so I'll just ask. The first time you put on a pair of wrestling trunks and you're going out there in front of a crowd, it's essentially like going out there in your underwear. As a young man doing that, how did you feel about it?
Brother, it all came natural to me.
Didn't bother you?
It didn't bother me because I grew up in that atmosphere. I was used to seeing guys, wrestlers, and we just called them trunks, and your wrestling trunks. And, so it's like, I didn't picture it as being out there in my underwear. I said, I guess it would be closer to, and if you were a wrestler, there's a lot of the wrestlers that, when we would, in different towns, like in Amarillo, I mean, there'd be a group of wrestlers. They all had an apartment in the same place. In the summer, they'd all go out by the pool, and they're all in their tights. I mean, they're in their tights because you're not going to wear a bathing suit that comes halfway down your thigh. You know what I'm saying? And you get half of your leg tan. You ain't going to do that. Yeah, you got to wear your gear. And so I that never bothered me.
Wow.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm 70 years old now, and I still have a couple pair of those, and you would catch me dead at the pool wearing that today.
So you're at poolside wearing a Speedo so you can
don't look like it used to.
You're at poolside back in the day wearing a Speedo so you can get your tan looking right, and then you're going out in front of a crowd wearing the trunks. And actually, I just recorded with Jake yesterday, and somebody asked the question, so I'll ask you, Ted. Somebody asked Jake, what did you wear underneath your tights to avoid getting lines? And I was like, Jake, I know that a lot of guys were wearing thongs. Was that something that you were wearing? And he said, no, I would wear regular wrestling trunks underneath my long tights. So Ted, I'll ask you, were you wearing a thong underneath your tights?
Well, no. I mean, what I had was I had a pair. I had a pair of the outer wrestling tights. And what I had was a smaller version of that, and not as thick, almost like a, man, I could, I could go in my room and get them and show them to you, but I called them under tights, and it wasn't a jock strap, but it would fit you snug enough that it served as such.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. We ask the hard questions here on Everybody's Got a Pod, folks.